Good morning if you're just joining. Good to see everybody. As we are on this is it Thursday? It's Thursday. Kim, looks like you're on two screens, which is very exciting. We'll give folks a minute to join. I don't know what people were doing last night, but they were not rooting for the Celtics. We couldn't feel the love in Boston Garden last night. Anyway, it's not over. Even I know people cheer for the Yankees, but hopefully we have more Celtics than Knicks fans here. We're so excited to have folks from First Teacher here with us this morning. Yeah, wow. And Josette, I gotta say hello. Good morning to Josette. Countdown to kindergarten. Wearing the countdown to kindergarten yellow, I see. Always. Uh, and so as folks are joining, yes, please say good morning in the chat. I will turn things over to Kim and Latisha. And as you know, our first question for the 9:30 call is for you to tell us a little bit about each of you, how you came into your current role, and we're excited to hear your update.
Hi, how is everybody today? Thank you for having us. My name is Latisha Burns, and I am a senior program parent leader, and also I co-lead partnerships with Kim. I have two children, ages 8 and 11. My 11-year-old is turning 30 because that's just her personality. Um, I was a participant first teacher for about 2 years before I joined the team. And I joined the team because I learned that being a participant, then I am my child's first teacher, and I have the power to teach and support them in all things. And I wanted to support other parents in realizing that power too.
Great.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good
We are
morning.
so excited to be here. My name's Kim Nicoll. I also have two children. They are 17 and 14, which shocks me to say out loud. I am the co-lead of partnerships at First Teacher with Latisha, and also the director of organizational learning and development. I came to First Teacher almost 12 years ago now when my own children were 3 and 6. And I had been working in public schools in Boston for about 15 years at that point as a teacher and as an administrator. And I was really drawn to the idea of parenting in community and recognizing the power of parents as their child's first and most important teacher and brain builder. I think after working in schools for a long time, I was very acutely aware of the expertise that teachers bring to the table, but had spent a lot less time thinking about the expertise that parents bring to the table. So we are here today to talk about. And should we
Great.
just jump in, Amy?
Yeah, jump in. That'd be great.
Great.
All right.
Welcome us. I just welcome. We've had many folks join us, so welcome, and we are excited to hear the update from First Teacher.
Um, so at First Teacher, we are parents and caregivers who connect with each other and support each other because we understand that parenting is hard and difficult for everyone, regardless of your race, culture, or class. We work together to prepare our children to be school and world ready. We believe that every parent is their child's first and most important teacher, brain builder, and advocate.
And at First Teacher, we believe that how we do things is as important as what we do, for the success of our movement. So we like to take time, no matter where we are and who we are meeting with, to do an ice melter that helps us all connect and build community together, and kind of level the playing field because we are all human beings. So we would love for you to right now put in the chat. We learned this technique is called a waterfall chat. Your answer to this question. And as they show up, just read other people's answers. If you are a parent, what is the worst or hardest part of parenting right now? And if you're not a parent, what do you think was probably the worst or hardest part for your parents parenting you? So take a minute to think and go ahead and put your response in the chat. And then, Amy, we have a question. Is it possible for people to come off mute and answer this question out loud?
Absolutely.
Oh, yay. Okay, so we will take 3 brave volunteers after everyone's had a chance to respond.
Great.
Right. Could we get 2 or 3 brave volunteers who would be willing to share out loud, um, maybe some of what you wrote in the chat? And if you're a brave volunteer, you can just come right off mute and speak. You don't need to raise your hand or anything.
Okay, I can be a brave volunteer. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Uh, the big, the biggest struggle to be a parent in this now era is dealing with emotions, dealing with social media pressure, dealing with right now I have 11th grader and I am from Ecuador, so I don't have any experience on guiding her for college. And I know the schools provide a counselor, but I know they can't help all of the students. So I am a little worried and concerned. I won't help her as much as she needs it. And she's a bright, beautiful soul that needs that help. And I don't know where to go. And to be honest, the price for college counselor is crazy. So that's right now the part that I'm struggling.
Thank you for sharing that. Maybe one more person.
Hi, my name's Khadija Barra, and I'm a mom. Being a parent is hard every milestone, every stage. My youngest, she just finished her first semester of early childhood. She's going teaching and social media, mental health. As a new mom, I mean, also as the parent, who you're gonna leave with your kids. It's just every stage in their life is always hard and it never ends.
Thank you, Maribel and Khadija. We really appreciate you speaking up and saying aloud what we all know, which is parenting is hard. And that's why First Teacher exists.
Why we exist, right? So First Teacher exists because racism and discrimination exist. We seek to actively dispel the myth that Black and Brown children or any children need to be saved. Rather, their powerful parents need to be supported and loved through a powerful community that together fights systems which may harm our children. We ground our work in this belief and use this statement in everything we do, from fundraising, partnerships. 37% of children in Boston are unready when they enter kindergarten based on the BPS assessments. And we believe that excuse me, partnering with each other in a safe community is critical to ensuring all our kids have access to the resources and preparing them for life in school.
So our underlying belief is that parenting is difficult, and when parents are in community with other parents, we are better able to recognize and actualize our own power. So at First Teacher, what do? We have some photos here that kind of tell our story better than we think words can. So we'd love for you to just take a look at these pictures that shows some examples of what we do. And then again, could we just have a couple people come off mute and tell us, what do you notice in these pictures? What stands out to you? If you feel more comfortable putting it in the chat, that's fine too. Oh, it's hands-on, people engaging in play.
And happiness.
Thank you. Oh, Camille, do you want to come off mute and share aloud?
Sure. I was gonna say that, like, yes, similar to what other people are saying, like the kids are having fun. I see a lot of smiles, very like interactive, um, like in person. Um, yeah.
Thank you. Um, At First Teacher, we run a number of programs, and that is the kind of what we do. So what you're seeing here are photos from our workshops, which happen in English and in Spanish. We also offer workshops specifically for teen parents. In addition, we have Wellness Wednesday, which is parents coming together on Zoom with a therapist who runs workshops on wellness. We also have parent and child programs, which is a lot of the laughter and parent connection you're seeing here is at our play dates where we try to go out and about all over the Boston area with parents and children together. Also Family Play Week, which we do in conjunction with our partners at Countdown to Kindergarten, where parents and children engage in play for a whole week together in the summer because we know play is the work of children and parents and children engaging in it together is incredibly powerful. We also do child-facing programming, one of which happened last night. It's our Good Night Book Club, where we get on Zoom and we deliver books all over the city of Boston, and actually in some suburbs too. And people log on to Zoom at 7:30 and we read the book together aloud, mostly in our PJs with um, stuffed animals, and read the books together. And kids are building their libraries at home, and that happens in English and Spanish. So right now we're sharing with you a little who we are, and we're also going to get into a little bit about our philosophy about parent engagement and like the way we go about fostering parent engagement at First Teacher. And then our goal is to leave at least 5 or 6 minutes at the end for questions. So here we go on our whirlwind. There you go.
All right, so so how do we do this? So we have three major goals that guide us in doing this work. The first goal is to build a safe community. Second goal is increase parent caregivers' confidence and capacity. The third goal is to prepare our children to be school and world ready. We believe that these goals have to happen in this order because parents need to feel safe before anything else.
Mm. Um, We always say that our work is to make sure children are ready to be successful in school and in the world and in life. And we want them to have the skills and confidence to be ready. And when we first started, we often were thinking about reading and writing skills, but I think we all know that there's so much more to early childhood development. We're going to ask you to use the chat or your voice again and just throw out there, what are some of the things that are important? What are the skills that children need to be ready to be successful in school and life? If you could just add them. We're very participatory, and you're going to all morning.
My
If you want,
guess is folks will use the chat.
I think so too. Oh, we see a bunch. Um, Naming and understanding emotions, social emotional skills, kindness, community, compassion, communicating their needs. Yes, love it. And you'll see in some of these photos, like taking risks and learning new things, being able to fail and learn from failure and making mistakes, being able to be in community with other children, knowing how to sit and listen, executive function, yes. Being able to use their bodies in all kinds of different ways, gross and fine motor skills. So our play dates and our childcare, Family Play Week, everything we do is helping parents be able to better understand what skills it takes to be successful and to develop together strategies to help our children be successful on the premise that every parent wants the best for their child. We just don't always know how to do that because, again, parenting is hard.
Yes.
Were you supposed to do that one? No. Okay.
Yes.
When I worked in a school, I know that we used to think about parent engagement as how many parents showed up to curriculum night or the PTO or special events at the school. And at First Teacher, we are working to actively shift how we and how parents and how institutions in general, whether it's Head Start or preschool or schools or anything, think about parent engagement. And we're doing that because we've heard from parents that it's not always possible to make those events, even if we want to, but we can engage in our child's learning and development, even if we can't make it to those events. So we are working hard to shift our own mindset. And we wanted to share with you this morning, and we're open for questions too, that parent engagement can look like all of these things you see on your screen here and more. It can look like making sure our child got a good night's sleep so they're ready to learn. It can look like making sure they have a healthy breakfast so that they're ready to learn. It can look like playing with them so that they have curiosity when they enter school. There are hundreds of ways that parents are engaging with with our children's learning and development every single day. And we believe that is the most powerful form of parent engagement.
Mhm. Right. So are there any thoughts, questions, reflections, comments, concerns?
Can you talk a little bit about how folks get engaged? Because sometimes it's hard just to even like take the first step. So can you share some examples about what that looks like?
You mean how people join First Teacher or what it
Yeah,
means?
like so right. So now you're sitting here thinking, you're like, this is resonating with me. What do I do now?
Well, we hope you will share this with parents in your own networks and just take away what we've talked about here to think about how it would resonate in your own work. But our QR code here leads to our link tree, which will lead to our website and all of our social media. And we often find that the easiest way for parents to show up first is to our virtual programs, which was something that happened by accident in the pandemic and actually turns out to be huge. We do them late at night after kids are in bed. We have something called a PVCP, that's a parent virtual commiseration party where people can log on between 9 and 11 p.m.
And just complain about what their child did that day, or maybe just have the connection of understanding that you are not alone in parenting.
Right.
There are a lot of things that parents go through and they think they're all alone. It's only happening to them. But coming to these PVCPs, you're learning, wait a minute, there's other parents that are going through the same thing. And even just taking advice from each other.
Another one is the Goodnight Book Club. We deliver the books to people's homes. They can just log on. We love it. And the feedback we've gotten from parents is that they love it because their child is engaged for 30 minutes on a screen with other children and real live, like adult human beings. We read the books aloud and engage kids in conversation, which means parents get 30 free minutes at bedtime, which is like insane if you're a parent, like to have a minute to breathe. But also, we have done a lot to teach ourselves about how to do effective read alouds. Thank you, Countdown, for training us as well, which means we're modeling for parents what it looks like to read a book aloud and discuss it with your 3-year-old. So that's a great way. And then in person, we have workshops and we offer childcare and food. We have like early childhood trained childcare providers. Parents often show up and are reluctant and want to stay in the childcare room with their child, and we certainly welcome that. And usually after 10 minutes, they're like, oh, I can leave and go to the workshop next door, and I can have 2 hours of fun and connection with other grown-ups. So I would say those are often the easiest ways in. And Family Play Week this summer. We have 3 weeks. We are still accepting applications, 2 in English, one in Spanish, 1 week in Spanish, and families join, and it's an adult and a child. It can be a parent, a grandparent, a caregiver, a family member. We just ask that it's the same adult all week long because we really focus on building connection and community. And we find most families who join First Teacher come through Family Play Week.
Thank you for that. There's Maribel says, I will share with Hispanos Amigas. Is there a Spanish version of FT? So can you talk a little bit about, you've mentioned a few things, what that looks like?
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, we have an entire whole Spanish programming. We do have a Spanish version of PVCP, and we also have parents have their Wellness Wednesdays in Spanish.
Good
I
Night
run
Book
a
Club.
Yep, and Good Night Book Club is done in Spanish and in English. So we do breakout rooms. A lot of our books are actually like bilingual, so even kids who are in the English room are learning Spanish words. Um, we what else do we have? I'm
You
thinking.
were about to talk about All Abilities, I think.
Yes, I run an all abilities group, and we are kind of excited for that to happen in Spanish next year because we understand that there is a need, but there is also a language barrier and there are cultural differences. Um,
So yes, 1 week of Spanish Family Play Week. We have a team of 4 Spanish staff members who run a lot of our Spanish programming, Spanish play dates. Yeah, so yes, please share the word in both English and Spanish.
And you are based in Boston. This is a statewide call. So can you just talk a little bit about kind of how you're connecting with other groups? What do you think about thinking about a statewide reach?
Mm. We have been talking for years about wanting to expand in some way, and for now it has stayed in Boston. And we think that building like parent movements like ours is something that could happen anywhere. And the most important thing is having parents who want to get something started. So we are always open to connecting with people to talk more about our work. We have a whole team that Latisha and I lead on partnerships where we can talk with people about some of the strategies we use, how we got started. And all of our virtual programs are open to anybody from anywhere. So please feel free to spread the word.
Right.
We have people we mail our books to so they can log on and join Good Night Book Club. I think we have someone as far away as Texas, mostly people who used to live in the Boston area and moved.
Right.
Yes, we are open to connecting with people all over the state.
And can you talk a little bit about kind of advocacy and how that shows up for you and what your message is to families?
Um, I would say that when we started 11 or 12 years ago, one of the primary reasons was that we saw this statistic about kids not being prepared for school. And our answer was, you know what? I think parents, every parent loves their child and wants the best for our child. And some of us have access to lots of resources, and others of us do not have access to the same resources. And parenting can be very isolating. And we believe that parents partnering with other parents, we do sometimes bring in experts, but by and large, we are parents going out to seek information so that we can share it with each other. And Latisha runs this All Abilities group that's filled with parents who have children who have autism or Down
ADHD,
syndrome, ADHD,
dyslexia.
anxiety, and they connect with each other and attend each other's IEP meetings. And really, I think our message is parents can support each other and share our expertise, and our children benefit and are more successful because of it. So a lot of our advocacy is things like this. We come and spread that word, and we welcome new parents into the fold, and support and love and take an assets-based approach to every parent we meet.
Yeah, and one thing that I have learned with running my All Abilities is that a lot of parents think they don't have a voice, and that teacher knows better and educators know better, and they just listen because that's what they're being told. But also, and me just letting them know, like to recognize that you're your child's parent. You are the first person who your child sees, and you're helping them grow. And you have the power and the voice to speak up when you don't think something is right. And a lot of parents was like, I actually didn't even realize that. Like, I think a lot of parents, we'll advocate for if somebody's treating our child wrong, and or if somebody's picking on them. But when it becomes like a doctor or a teacher, so, a lot of parents were feeling like they weren't I don't know, I don't want to say educated enough to say, no, I don't want that. And it has nothing to do with education. It has everything to do with you are your child's parent. You have that power, you have that voice. And if you don't want to do something, then you have the power to say no. And if somebody doesn't want to do something, you have the power to say, I want a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We
Yeah.
talk a lot about like feeling like you need permission, and we don't need permission when we think about being an advocate. And it looks different. There's so many different ways to advocate. In our last 2 minutes, what are the challenges of running an organization like this? I'm sure parents' time is one of them. But what are the other challenges and your time? And this sounds like such a people-based, focus. So just can you talk a little bit about challenges and how can we help them?
Hmm. I would say right now, the thing that's top of mind, I think probably for everyone on this call is money. Funding has become a little scary recently, and we in the past have done a lot of partnering with other organizations and nonprofits to work on um, not competing, but collaborating for the money
Right.
that's out there. So we are always open to that as well.
We've
Other
been saying
Yeah,
amplify, don't duplicate, right? How do we think about that?
that's right. That's right.
Well, we're so happy you were able to join us, and it was so great to see so many folks. And I will send you both the chat, and if you send me your slides, we'll post them in the follow-up folder. It was great to also see some new folks join the call today, so you can sign up for the call. We're here 4 days a week, 9:30 to 10 a.m. We also have the 9:30 call in Espanol, which is once a month, Wednesdays at 6:30, once a month on a Wednesday at 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. It's on our website. And we just appreciate you joining us this morning. And I think even the kind of the ice melt question kind of grounds us all to remember like why we're doing all of this work. We often say the 9:30 call is the inspiration that we didn't know we needed. So thank you so much for bringing that today.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us. Have a great day, everybody. Reach out. We're always happy to connect.
Thanks so much. Take care.